welcome to Pathways to Wellness. We are going to be talking about CranialSacral today, one of my favorite modalities to actually give to folks and also to receive myself. Excuse me, I got a little frog in my throat. There we go. So with that, we've got a lot of information to tell you today about it. It's an amazing, we've got skulls, we've got books, but it was developed back in the mid-1970s by John Upledger. There's several different types of people that have developed and done their own techniques with the CranialSacral, but Upledger is one of the ones that I follow. And he did a lot of research studies at the University of Michigan, or Michigan State University, sorry about that. But it's a gentle touch. It's kind of a weight of a nickel. You listen for the rhythms of the central nervous system. It flows throughout the body. There's the cerebral spinal fluid that cycles through 6 to 10 times a minute. You unwind the layers of the fascia, and there's releases of blockages that help with that fluid of the tissue and just make a better ease of movement of the body. So with that, we've got our friendly little skull here. I have to be careful because he does have a green back, and we don't want to have that as a skull that you can't see. But if you think about it, you see all the different points of colors. They're different bones, bony structures. And then when you open the skull, you see this little membrane in here. And this is kind of what we're focusing on when we do this. See, I'm going to take it out. And as we're moving the different bones within the skull, trying to release some of that tension that actually will impact this membrane, that helps with the fluidity. Now there's also, in the bottom of the skull, as you can see, there's this little hole. That's basically where the brain stem goes, and it goes through down your body into your vertebrae, and the signals of the nervous system go through that and goes out through your vertebrae to all the different fascias and muscle tissue in your body. So what we're going to do is, and we'll demo later, we'll have some great guests here that will help us with that. Also, we have, this is like the tailbone, the sacrum, right? There's a little tailbone down here. So as I'm holding this, and then I am also holding, let's say, the skull here. I think this, well, this is kind of the cranium part, right? There's the hole, and so we could do it this way. But as I'm doing this, I guess it'll be more like this, we're going to be trying to balance the body and trying to make sure that flow is really good in there. This cool little bone here is called the butterfly bone, and that's behind your sinuses. So that actually will be doing some movements on that with your cheeks and trying to get that aligned. So you have that. And then I also want, there's all kinds of material here. So this is your basic cranial 1 information that we learned about. And it has all the kinds of scientific and all the information there. And my business card just fell out. So anyway, and then we have another book here, that's the level 2. But there's all kinds of basic books that help you understand what CranialSacral is. And they're all good information. This is called a still point. And you put this as you're laying underneath your cranium on your head. And so that helps with some of the relaxation and the movement of the skull to help with balancing in the body. But there's all kinds of different cool little things here. So with that, we're going to talk about why would you want CranialSacral? I mean, who would actually benefit from it? A lot of people have migraines, headaches, TMJ, that tightness. So remember I was showing you the skull, there's a lot of different parts that could get moved. If you got chronic neck and back pains, even scoliosis because your vertebrae is formed a little bit different, the chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, immune disorders, any kind of learning difficulties, ADD, ADHD, any kind of stress, and tension disorders, post-traumatic stress. So that's really beneficial, but there's also some contraindications, and these are kind of common sense when you talk about the contraindications. So if you had a recent concussion, you know, some kind of brain trauma, cerebral swelling, you don't want to be messing around with the skull and the bones in it. Blood clots throughout the body, that's usually a normal contraindication for different types of body work. And of course, if you're sick, you have the fever, flu, cold, now we have COVID that goes around, all that stuff spreads easily. But anyway, this is just kind of a real basic of what CranialSacral is. It's going to be a little bit easier to demo on people and show you what it looks like. So we'll be back in a few moments. We're going to take a break and I'm going to start with some of my guests. All right, we'll see you. Welcome back, everybody, to Pathways to Wellness. I have my first guest here. It's Kay, and she's going to be helping us today demo what actual CranialSacral looks like and feels like. So welcome, and tell me why you seek out CranialSacral. You've been a client of mine for a while, so tell me why I brought you and why you like it.
Hi, Joan. I came to you because of the amount of pain I'm in, which is a lot of neck and back pain. Okay. And I do get pressure headaches, which you've helped tremendously.
Okay.
And I'm just looking to heal.
Yeah. And I'm going to share this with you too. So she actually had some injuries. She's got a plate in her neck, which she actually brought the x-ray and showed me in the beginning. So that's something I need to know too as I'm working with her. So when I do part of her body, I got to be careful around the neck part because she's got limited movement because of her metal that's in there.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to have Kay go ahead and lay down on the table. She's going to be, she's taking her shoes off. Thank you. And she's going to let me demo on her. So basically, when you talk to somebody, you want to make sure you review their health and their concerns, ask the sources of pain, determine the goals, and then we're going to work on different areas with her, mainly the head, neck, and back maybe. Maybe we'll get down to the pelvis and hips. It just kind of depends on the person and the session and how it goes. So basically what I do first is I usually get a read on the feet. And I know it sounds weird because it's CranialSacral, so you would have the cranium and down to the tailbone, the sacrum. But it just helps me understand where her energetic flow is. And then from that, I'm going to move up here to her head. And we're going to feel a little bit what's going on with her head today. So she's got long, beautiful hair. So I just move it out of the way and I go like this. So my hands are underneath, just nice and gentle. And you remember the skull, there's a bunch of different bones on there. And I'm just going to kind of try to feel what makes sense for her. I feel I'm on her right side. So you see my hand here a little bit. I'm on this side of the skull. Is it okay to move your head a little bit?
Oh
okay.
Yeah, it'll move.
All right. Just want to make sure, So I'm going to do a little bit over there and try to open that up a little bit. And sometimes I just have to hold it for a minute. I'm doing a little bit on her neck, but I'm being careful because of the metal in her neck. And now I'm going to, so you guys can see a little bit better, just over here. This is her occiput area. The temporal's right in here. And we're just trying to gently kind of move that bone structure just to relax it some. And then remember, this is like where her cheekbones are. There was that butterfly bone I showed you earlier in the previous segment. I'm just going to do gently on her hand, my hands on her face. And I'm just going to kind of just move that around a little bit. It's kind of intuitive. It's a little light pressure, but we're just making sure it can move up and down, kind of teeter-totter, up and down this way like an elevator. She has pretty good movement. It's a little stuck on her right side. You can't probably see very well, but let me see if I can move. So just right over in here near her cheekbone. So it'd be like this side, but on this side. And once that feels pretty good, there's a lot of ways you can go about it, but I wanted to show that. Now, remember there's the tailbone, which is down here, and then underneath her head, the cranium, and it can move back and forth like this. So what I want to do now is I'm going to put my hands underneath her. And so one's going to go underneath her tailbone, one's going to go underneath her cranium. You probably saw her hips moved and her head a little bit. And I'm just going to go back and forth with it. Her tailbone's stuck a little bit. And when I say that, it just doesn't want to move too much. So I'm helping it move. And when I say helping it move, I'm just putting very little light pressure into it. Does it feel light to you, or does it feel more intense?
Yeah, it's light.
It's light. So I'm not trying to, like, beat her up like a deep tissue.
Thank you.
Oops. I'm going to go gently there. If I want to focus more, which I do, in her tailbone area, I can put one below and one above. And she's got her hip bone here and over here. I can rest my arm across her, kind of open up that low. This helps people a lot that, let's say you like massage, but there's just something that you need to open up structure-wise. And you go to the chiropractor and he works with the bones, and you do your massage therapist. But this is just a different technique that helps open up that pathway, the fascia, which is the layers of tissue that hold your body together. I know that sounds kind of crazy. I'm doing one underneath her hip now, and I'm doing one underneath this right side of her knee, because I feel this right side stuck a little bit. And then I'm going to move down a little bit underneath her knee and her ankle. And just make sure that right side feels okay. And then if I was to come to this side, I'm going to do it this way. Normally I would actually, have my back to you guys, but I'm going to do it so my back's not to you. So again, my hand's underneath her hip, underneath her knee, and allowing that to open up a little bit. And the same way down here. So, and then I can do this, I can stretch her a little bit. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back up to her head, just do a couple more passes on her head, just to make sure she's good and solid. This is normally like at least a 30-minute to an hour session, and she's just getting a speed one up for about 5 minutes. So my hands are, you know what, I'm just going to have you sit up gently, okay? Because I want to show you, so let me, I want to see your back, yeah, to the camera. Sorry, I didn't, it's okay. Or the side or something, yeah.
You got that.
So what I'm trying to do back here, so this is her spine, right? It goes all the way down to the tailbone, which is kind of in this area, in the back of her head. So what I'm trying to do is do a little bit of the head down to the spine. And as this energy goes down here, we're just trying to make sure that it's open. So I felt her shoulders tight too in the end, and so I was trying to open up that space. I'm gonna hug you, okay?
Okay, I'll take it.
So anyway, this is how I want to show it to you for the camera. Again, that's her spine, so. All right. You did good. All right, you can now flip so you can see the camera.
Like a pancake.
There you go. So that was real brief, but what do you think?
Thank you, Joan. Even the briefness, that was nice.
Yeah. So,
I feel good already.
do you? Okay.
Yeah, I could feel the movement from my hips like sink once you're done.
Okay.
You can feel, it's really neat.
Yeah, and then tell me a little bit about your neck, because I was trying to be gentle with it. So.
Yeah, it was good, and it feels better. It was really sore when I came.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, like that T1C7 hurts me a lot.
Yeah, she'll tell me that. So that's, well, I don't have a skeleton, but that's at the end of your cervicals, your neck, and T1's at the beginning of kind of like where your back starts. I'm not great with anatomy words, but anyway, cool. Well, with that, we are going to take another quick break. We're going to have another person, Sante, join us here in a second, and we'll see you in a minute. All right, thank you so much, Kay.
Thank you, Joan.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. We are now going to do another demo with my good friend Asante here with Pure Grub, and he's also one of our underwriters, so he's been very helpful with me in Pathways to Wellness. But he's also come to me as a CranialSacral body or as a patient, so client. So tell me what's going on with you and why you see CranialSacral.
Well, thanks for having me back, Joan, and hello, everyone. I'm here happily to get some of these services because I have tightness, tension in the body as a chef and someone who tries to stay physically active, whether it be through fitness or through some martial arts training. I have tightness and could use some opening throughout the body. Also, I had a brain aneurysm, and I like to make sure there's movement in my head as well.
Movement in your head, wow. And that was a few years ago, right? Really scary, I bet.
Probably should have been scarier than I felt it was, but that's probably part of the problem. Yeah. But that was about 15 years ago.
Oh, wow, okay. So see, he's still with us, and he's still fit and active with what he does with his cooking and his lifestyle. So we will start you then, kind of like what we did with Kay, and just go ahead and lay down, and we'll see what's going on here. I'll first get a read from his feed. Yeah, so basically with Asante, we asked him about his health and his concerns, sources of pain, determine the goals. Again, we'll work on his back, shoulders, arms, maybe a little bit on the head, the hips, legs, ankles. So, but what I do first is I always get kind of a read on people's body with the feet. There's different ways. Some people always start at the head. This just helps me get a good read on what's going on with him. And I feel a little bit of tightness just from that read over in this area. And I think you said you shared with me you were hanging out with some family and...
Yeah, playing with the kids and moving awkward objects into awkward places.
So he strained his back a little bit. So I'm keeping that in my head and my mind, and I'm going to start here with his own head. My hands are below, like right here in the occiput area on both sides. I do feel a little tension, a little stuckness there. So I'm just going to go with the flow. My right hand is moving down towards his feet. The left hand is moving up a little bit. And now it's kind of wanting to go back the other way. It's his body guiding me. And so my left hand's going down a little bit. My right hand's going up a little bit. I feel like I need to go a little bit higher up on his skull. And I demoed to you guys earlier, there was a still point, it was a red kind of rubber thing. He may benefit from having that because I'm right kind of at his still point right now. And what that helps is the body just really be still and have it work on its own. So I'm doing that a little bit with my fingers right now for him. And I'm gonna go up. Like he said, he showed that there's some scar from his aneurysm, brain aneurysm, but he recovered nicely. Now my hands are actually on the top of his skull, and I have my thumbs kind of right here. I guess you can't see right there. And my hands over on his temporals. And the left is going down a little bit. The right is now going to go down a little bit, so it's seesawing back and forth. And then I can go up here to his forehead, work a little bit on that. I feel like I want to give him a face massage now, which is really not CranialSacral, but that's what's kind of cool. All right, so here is, this area is right here, the zygomatic bone, but I'm also at the very end of that butterfly bone that works with the sinuses. And again, the right side's going down, the left side's coming up. And now it's going back the other way. Just relaxing. If people talk a lot, I which I don't think Asante does, and I'm just kidding because I know he does. But he has to, you know, he's a chef, he's out there with his events that he does. Sometimes the actual, your jawbone gets really tight and tense. So I'm doing a little bit with that for him. All right, and I'm doing a little bit here in his, I'm on the back of his neck now, the cervicals. We talked a little bit with K cervical, C1 and C7 and T1. So I'm kind of probably in his mid cervicals, about maybe cervical 3-ish. And that's just the vertebrae. Just letting a little bit of that relax for him. Release. That's why I took a deep breath. Sounds like he's taking one too now. Now I'm working my way down, so more in his shoulders. And a little bit on his shoulder blades. But again, I'm just kind of working again with the fascia, the upper layers of tissue. And he wants just to do a lot of, like, I'm pushing down on my left, and now my right's going down. So you can see what I was doing. Kind of one was going like that, and then the other one was going like that. But you can do it from the front too. Does that feel okay?
It does.
Yeah, isn't that cool? All right. So that's a little tease on his head, working with the cranium. And so now I'm going to go down here to his sacrum, or his tailbone. And again, that's underneath. I'm going to put one of my arms on the top. Because Asante works out a lot, the feel of his body is going to be different than maybe the feel of other bodies. So because he works out, he's in kind of like his muscle structures, I won't say intense, but together, and his bone structure, right? But say if we're a desk worker or not having that intensity on our body, the body's rhythm's going to feel different. The body's structure's going to feel different. There's no good or wrong about it. It's just the different of the body. And I feel that leg over there a little bit. I guess it's your left side. Now remember, I felt like he was tight in here. And so I'm right over here on the bottom of his ribs, and I'm just kind of holding that and allowing that to rotate back and forth. And just release a little bit. There you go. Again, I'm on the fascia, I'm on the muscle tissue. There's another one called zero balancing that works more on the bone structure. Looks similar, but it's different. It focuses on the bones. And I'll do another intro to that in a few months out. So just kind of checking in on him. I'm going to come back down to his ankles, his feet. Our ability to move forward in life is our ankles, our feet, going into the knees. So sometimes this can be a little bit out of balance. I didn't really feel that much on Kay nor on Asante today. It seemed to be more upper body, but you can do the whole body. Even though it's the cranium and the sacrum, right? And we're trying to feel emotion with that. Remember, there's the signal from the brain goes down that spinal cord. It goes all the way down, and it sends signals out to all the nerve endings, but the nerve endings go through, and the nervous system goes all the way down the body. So just because, we were kind of concentrating on this part with CranialSacral, you can also impact the rest of the body with techniques with CranialSacral. All right, sweetheart, go ahead and get up nice and slow. You can face the camera. I'm not going to demo on his back because we did that with Kay, but all right, so tell me, how do you feel? What are you thinking?
feel more open. I feel movement in the body. It felt similar to, or maybe it is like a traction type of movement, which was definitely good for flow. I feel more in flow.
More in flow. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. So we're gonna say, we're gonna say goodbye. But remember, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to impact, that inside the membrane. And what we were also trying to do earlier, I kept telling you about the sphenoid bone, the butterfly bone. And so that's when he was, I always forget which way it goes. But anyway, that's what I was trying to balance with both Kay and both Asante. All right, and we're going to take a quick break and we'll come back and review and we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone, to Pathways to Wellness, and our session today is about CranialSacral. And as you know, I have my two guests here, Kay and Asante. But before I actually talk to them again, we're going to do a little review of what we did today. So CranialSacral is a gentle touch. It goes from the cranium to the sacrum. You saw me do that on both of them, and also with the skull and the bones. It unwinds the fascia, which is the upper layers of muscle tissue, and it's actually a system that goes throughout your whole body. It's connective tissue. It helps with migraines, chronic pain, tension, calms that whole central nervous system, brings you back into balance. And you want to avoid if you have a concussion or cerebral swelling, some kind of traumatic brain injury, blood clots, and if you're sick. So with that, today we just had a really good time with trying to understand what CranialSacral was, and like I said, we had the skull and the bones. But I want to talk to Kay for a minute here. So tell me again why you saw CranialSacral and how it's helped you over the years, and what it means to you.
CranialSacrum has actually helped save, or helped me get a little bit of my life back. I was pretty much stuck in the house and with little movement. I couldn't use my arms.
Oh, wow.
And it's helped me be able to move more and be able to do more things. I have to be careful because I hurt myself easily, but it really has been a lifesaver for me.
And you've been doing it for a while. I mean, maybe almost 6 months, a year with me, but with other practitioners too, right?
Yeah, I've been trying it for, I didn't think I had any hope. And then I found this therapy, and it actually has helped me a lot.
Yeah, well,
you
good.
know, so.
Yeah, and she's smiley today, so you know. But when I started seeing her maybe 6 months ago, I mean, she was kind of, even though she'd been receiving it, she was kind of a little bit in a closed space, and you've just opened up immensely. So,
thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. And so with that, so we have a cute little picture of Miss Kay and her sunshiny place. You want to throw that up there? She's got her little picture. Drew. There you go. There you go. Kay's in her piece. So hanging out in nature and all smiles, and she loves her trees. So there you go. All right, and then with Asante. So tell me about why you sought CranialSacral and how that helps you, because I know you're very active and also with your work, but also just physically fit.
Well, I think it's been an integral investment in my self-care practice, because I do put my body through a lot of movements, whether I'm all in, whether I'm playing with kids or I'm in the kitchen. You see I'm a hand talker, all those energy usages, but it's really important it helps provide a balance. It helps me with flow. It's been very crucial, and it's good to have a softer modality as well.
Nice,
To literally be part of the balance. So it's been very, very key in that, in helping with different parts, whether it's shoulder movement, a lot of the wrist movement, often carrying, if I'm doing a pop-up or a show somewhere as far as with food, I'm carrying awkward angled things and putting them in awkward places. So being able to have your services has helped a lot. So I appreciate that.
Well, good, yeah. And she also mentioned that he loves his deep tissue. I know he does.
I
He
do.
loves that aggressive stuff. And so it's nice that he can also take a step back and just go into the energetic flow.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate you. And so now we've also got some pictures of Asante and his people. So he's got a little, I guess, gathering there that you're cooking for? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I work a lot with the youth, get them nutrition awareness, help them to learn such, whether they are in small farms or various places, and just make sure people are exposed to better practices and opportunities.
Yeah.
Which is also why we're here.
And then he's got the Pure Grub, that was his staff that he had also up there, and you're vegan and gluten-free mainly is your focus, right?
Yeah, we just we try to offer nutrition as medicine, just clean foods, clean eating. We are a dedicated gluten and dairy-free facility, so just trying to offer tasty, healthy, culture-rich foods to people.
There you go.
But it's important to work with the kids too. So.
Like I said, he's one of the underwriters for my show, and I do appreciate that. And we are going to have him on, put him on the spot as a nutritional, informational pathways to wellness in the near future.
Absolutely. More coming.
More coming.
That's
there
right.
you go.
We have your Reiki crew here too.
There you go. That's right. They're going to be learning the Reiki Masterclass here in a couple weeks. So, with that, I want to thank everybody today, the viewers and everybody showing up today to experience another Pathways to Wellness, CranialSacral. It's near and dear to my heart. I love teaching it. When I say teaching it, I love working on my clients, and I also love receiving it myself. And until next time, thank you for coming today.